will be at second base. And, of course, the Warriors' big star, big number John Costello will be on the mound for them. John Costello is 10-2. His ERA hurts a little bit. His ERA is at 3.98, so let's see if he can hold that down a little bit. But the Warriors' offense has been so powerful right now. Costello now being introduced, as you heard. But I'm in here in a beautiful booth, a beautiful day in Lewiston, Idaho. No, not Lewiston, Minnesota, but Lewiston, Idaho. Just a really nice day. You look right out onto the river out here with the mountains right in the background of the park. As I said before, this is the hitter's ballpark. Why don't I go over the St. Xavier College Cougars. They're from just south of Chicago. They're on the south side. Let's go over their lineup they're giving them right now. Playing center field, Nolan Lane, big number 7, and playing second base, Tim Roseborough. He'll be followed by number 8, Roy Kolsky. He'll be playing shortstop, and he'll be followed by batting in the cleanup spot, playing right field, Ken Buskey, and playing third base and batting fifth will be Bill McLaughlin. And playing first base and batting sixth will be Phil Assad. He's big number 14. DH for the Cougars is number 24, Sean Lowe. Playing left field and batting eighth, Joe Mullick. He'll be playing left field and catching. And batting ninth, Dave Thies will be batting 9 for them. And on the mound, their big star, Scott Arverson is his name. Scott has a great record. He's 11-3. His ERA is just incredible. 1.80 ERA, and that's going to be the big thing, and that's what I want to talk about here in the pregame as they're going through the rest of the introductions. Let me tell you a little bit about St. Xavier of Chicago. Their ERA is incredibly good as a team. They have a 3.38 ERA, which compares to Winona State's ERA of 5.55. But on the average size and the hitting, they're only hitting 331, while Winona State is hitting a powerful 365. So the Warriors looking to have a good pitching performance by John Costello. And Averson, he's going to be tough. He's going to be really tough. He's been tough all year. He beat the Warriors once. Of course, you know the Warriors did play St. Xavier College in Chicago. It was a cold, windy day. The rest of their weekend got rained out, but they got 2 games in. They split a doubleheader. Winona State winning the first one 3-2 and then losing the next one 2-0. Steve Chuba got the loss in that. That was Steve Chuba's first loss, big freshman. You might see some action for him. So the pitching is going to be the key here. Coach Grob and coach of St. Xavier, I don't have his name right, or I do have his name, head coach John Morey of St. Xavier is out talking to Coach Grob around home plate. There'll be 3 umpires here for the NAIA College World Series. I hope everything's all back in Winona. Why don't we take it back to the studio for a quick break? You're listening to Warrior Baseball on KQAL. Playing second base, Tim Roseberg, and playing shortstop, Roy Kowalczak, and playing third base, Bill McLaughlin. Going out into the field, left field, Joe Molzak, center field, Nolan Lane, and in right field, Ken Boski. So obviously the Winona State Warriors are the visiting team, so they're going to be batting first. Coach Grob now out there talking to the umpires. Here's the pitcher I was just talking about, Arvidsson. He's 11-3, as I said, with a great 1.80 ERA. They're obviously going with their best, as the Warriors are also going with their best in John Costello. This guy beat the Warriors earlier, 2-0 earlier in the season, but the Warriors are going to look for a little revenge. Coach Grob meeting with his team, gathering around. Like I said, a real big, great turnout by the Winona State fans. Flew in this morning into Spokane, Washington, a beautiful, beautiful country out here right in the mountainside. And yes, this is Idaho. There is a lot of potatoes here. That's all they talk about in this town. It's like cheese in Wisconsin. Anyways, during the game, we'll tell you how the Warriors got here. Of course, as we all know, they're NIC champions, District 13 champions, and then winning the Area 4 tournament to get on here to the College World Series in Lewiston, Idaho. The College World Series, how it's worked is a team gets a bid for it for 5 years, and that's Lewiston College. And the thing is, Lewiston College has won the last, Lewiston Clark College has won the last 4 College World Series. But right now, let's go outside, see what the fans are saying. And leading off, of course, center field, Scott Kozad. And Kozad, if you know, is a speedster. He holds the Winona State record for stolen bases. He steps up against big Arvidsson. Again, Arvidsson, 11-3, a 1.80 ERA. Kozad, of course, in center field, number 12. Kozad is from La Crescent, Minnesota. Right now he's batting 300, and even 300. Here's the first pitch, a little bit low. Gets away from the catcher. Winona State fans, as you can hear, clapping at that. Averson, a big guy. He's 6'3", 6'4", excuse me, 190 pounds. So the count is 1-0 on Scott Kozad as that first pitch was in the dirt. 1-0 pitch on the way from Arvidsson. Kozad ready, right in there. Oh, a little bit high, make it 2-0. So Scotty Kozad getting ahead of him. That's a nice guy you like to see get on base in Scott Kozad because he's got wheels. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Kozad waiting. A little bit high and away and inside. That's ball 3, so 3-0. And I believe with the speed of Scott Kozad, Coach Gary Grob giving him sign, I believe Kozad's going to take a look here because you want this guy on base. 3-0 pitch. Outside, and he walks him on 4 straight pitches. So Kozad is aboard with nobody out, and that'll bring Pete Scooter Goodfellow up. Scooter from Hillsboro, North Dakota. He's batting .358. Scooter, a real speedy left fielder. He'll bat from the left side. He's taking the sign from Coach Grob. I wonder right here if Coach Grob is going to have Scott Kozad run. We all know he can run, but it'd be interesting to see if he's going to run right here in the first pitch. And, of course, on deck, big number 21, Scott Wanshura. Petey Goodfellow stepping up to the plate. Scott Kozad on first base takes the lead. No, pulls away. First pitch to Scooter Goodfellow is in there for a strike. He looked bunt, but turned back no. So 0-1 count. Arvidsson on the mound. Scott Arvidsson on the mound for St. Xavier College of Illinois. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Nope, throw back to Kozad, keeping him close. Not close enough, though. Kozad back in time. Chuck Squire, reserve player, down to first base, coaching, of course, Gary Grob over at third base for the Warriors. Here's the 1-0 pitch back to hold Kozad, and he's back in time, so Scooter Pete Goodfellow will stay up there with a 1-0 count. Beautiful sunny day, 85 degrees here in Lewiston, Idaho. There goes Kozad. Goodfellow swing. Kozad's going to be out. Oh, way out. I could see that from way up here. Scott just didn't get a good jump. Coach Grob sent him. He's gone, so there's one out. A great throw by the catcher. Let's see, let me get that catcher's name. Catcher Dave Thies, a great throw, got Kozad by about 2 steps. So Kozad is gone, and Pete Goodfellow is up there with 2 strikes, no balls. So 0-2 count up there for Goodfellow. He's in the hole. Scott Wanshura on deck for the Warriors. So Everson getting a little break right there. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Goodfellow. Inside, almost hit him. Scooter goes down on his knees, but gets away from it in time. So 1-2 is the count on Scooter Pete Goodfellow. Scott Kozad was thrown out, trying to steal. Here's Goodfellow. That one hit. Ooh, just barely missed him on the inside of the elbow. Goodfellow has to get away from that one, and the count moves to 2-2. Kozad thrown out. You don't see Kozad thrown out. The Warriors this year stole 104 bases, only thrown out 13 times. Pretty amazing for the Warriors. They're really a good running ball club. Out on a stolen base, Scott Kozad. 2-2 pitch from Arvidsson to Goodfellow. Swung on down to the third baseman. He bobbles it, and he gets away, and Scooter Pete Goodfellow is going to be on first base for the Warriors. Mentioned earlier, Cumberland University beat Oklahoma City 6-4 the game before this one. So they won that one. Oklahoma City dropped that 6-4. So Scooter Pete Goodfellow is on by an error by the third baseman. That third baseman is Bill McLaughlin. So that'll bring up, of course, Scott Wanshura from Bloomington, Minnesota. Scott, he's put up all kinds of statistics, and this team has got to look out for this guy. This guy has 18 home runs, 81 RBIs, 26 doubles, 3 triples, and he's hitting and even 500. First pitch to Scott Wanshura is inside. Scott stands right there, so the count moves to 1-0 on Wanshura. Scooter Pete Goodfellow on first base for the Warriors on an error. Scott Kozad got thrown out trying to steal, so there's one gone. Goodfellow on first base, and Scott Wanshura, the powerhouse for the Warriors, up. Here's the 1-0 pitch inside again, so Wanshura is staying up there very patiently right now. That was just about in his wheelhouse. He really could have got it, and he falls. Arvidsson falls behind the count. 2-0. Not a good guy to fall behind is Scott Wanshura. Although I've seen pitchers get ahead of Wanshura 0-1, 0-2, and he can take you downtown if you try to give him some junk like that. Scott Wanshura, a great ball player. I a little bit misconstrued that he hits 500. He's hitting 493. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Scott Wanshura. 2-0 pitch to Wanshura. Pete Goodfellow on first base. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, swung on a miss. Nice cut by Scott Wanshura. So the count moves to 2-1 on Lumpy. Lumpy's parents here. And I believe, yes, Lumpy's grandparents also out to join. So 4 Wanchura is out here today. Met him at the airport this morning, here to support their son, Scott Wanchura. 2-1 pitch from Iverson, swung on. Pete Goodfellow going, and Pete Goodfellow is going to be gone. So lumpy Scott Wanchura swung just to protect, and Goodfellow's gone. So he's out on a stolen base. Goodfellow and Kozad throwing out. So that's 2 attempted steals and 2 throwing out for the Warriors. That's not a good way to start it. So there's 2 outs, and Scott Wanchura had to swing at a bad pitch to protect Pete Goodfellow, and the count moves to 2-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Count 2-2 to Scott Wanchura. Third baseman Dean Barkey on deck with Dan Galvin, catcher, in the hole. So the Warriors having their troubles right now. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Wanchura, swung back foul over to the left side. That'll be out of play, so the count will stay even at 2-2. What a bad way to start things when you have a guy like Scott Kozad, who's stolen a sum of 30 bases and only been thrown out twice, tries to steal here, and he is thrown out. A hit and run was on with Pete Goodfellow, and he was thrown out also. 2-2 pitch to Wanchura with 2 outs here in the Warrior half of the first. Swung on. This one's going to drop in there for a base hit down the left field line. No, just foul. I'm sorry, just missed the left field line, and the ump was down that line waiting for it. As I said, there's 3 umps out there today, so they are right on top of it, and the lumpy would have been there with a double, but it just went about maybe a foot foul on the left side of the field. So it'll stay even at 2-2, 2 outs for the Warriors here in the top of the first inning, just underway, no score. Harris Field here in Lewiston, Idaho. Good crowd on hand. I'd say a sum of 1,500 to 2,000 people, and there will be a bigger crowd as the home team, Lewis Clark, plays tonight. They're expecting 5,000 people to be out here tonight for that home crowd game. 4-time defending World Series champions. So Wanchura will hack again. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Here's his pitch, swung on and missed. High fastball, Scott couldn't get it, so that'll do it. The Warriors have a couple men on base, but can't really do anything. We're going into the bottom of the first inning. No score here from Lewiston, Idaho. You're listening to Warrior Baseball on KQAL. The first game for the Warriors here in the NAIA World Series. No score. The Warriors are the visiting team, so we're going to go to the bottom of the first inning, and leading off for the St. Xavier College Cougars. Nolan Lane will be leading off. He's the center fielder. He'll be followed by Tim Rossborough, the second baseman, and third to come up to bat will be Roy Kowalczak. I believe that's pronounced Kowalski. Roy Kowalski will be batting third. That'll be the first 3 batters. Let's hope big John Costello, he's on the mound right now. He's 10-2, a 3.98 ERA, one of the best ERA on the team as a starter. So as I said, Nolan Lane will be leading it off for them. Of course, if you know, Dan Galvin is catching with the rotary of Costello and Galvin. Mike Eckert over at first base, Prior Lake native Chris Shimmick over at second base. Dean Barkey, who switches on from third and short with Steve Squire. He's over at shortstop, and of course Steve Squire over at third. The outfield has the speedy Pete Goodfellow and the definitely speedy Scott Kozad and senior Rob Sloan out there. Kozad and Pete Goodfellow, although we're throwing out on their first attempts at stealing. Warriors 2 attempts in the first inning to try to get runners in scoring position and can't do anything with it. Chris Shimmick and Mike Eckert were out there meeting with Costello, and he's ready to get his first pitch to the right-hander, Nolan Lane. Here's the first pitch, swung on a high fly ball. Kozad has a beat, having a little problem with the sun. Rob Sloan coming over. Kozad has got it, and there's 1 gone. So 1 pitch for Costello and 1 out. Nolan Lane, he's gone with a high fly ball into right center field. Kozad calling off. Sloan, no problems there. So 1 out, 1 pitch, 1 out. That's like the way you like to see it for the big number 32 from Lansing, Iowa. His parents, of course, are here. Mr. and Mrs. John Costello with their son Tom, and their daughter is also here. Here's the 0-0 pitch from Costello to Tim Rossborough, is right in there for a strike. So the count moves 0-1. Costello really fired up right now. No score. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Warriors had their chances but couldn't do anything. Here's the pitch, swung on. This one's going in the gap. Pete Scooter Goodfellow chasing. He's got it. What a play by Pete Scooter Goodfellow. Oh, Lord. He went way deep in the gap. Tim Rossborough drove one deep, about 350 feet away from home plate, and I can't believe Pete got to that. What a great play by Pete Scooter Goodfellow. Really nice play on his part. Didn't think he was going to get to it, but he ran it down, and there's 2 gone. So 3 pitches, 2 outs for John Costello, and that'll bring up Roy Kowalski. Roy Kowalski will be playing shortstop this afternoon. Here's Costello's nothing pitch. He looks to bunt, beautiful down the third base side, but just rolls foul. Squire wasn't playing in for the bunt, so Kowalski thought he'd try to fool the Warriors here. So the count is 0-1. 2 outs here, bottom of the first inning, no scorer. Winona State Warriors versus St. Xavier College, the Cougars. 2 outs here in the bottom of their first inning. As I said, the Warriors are the visitors. Warriors were thrown out twice on stolen bases in their half of the first inning, and a strikeout by big Scott Wanshura, but let's hope they can come around here in the top of the second inning. But right now, 1 strike on Roy Kowalski. No, 2 outs, no men on for St. Xavier. Here's the 0-1 pitch inside. Count moves even at 1-1. So 2 flyouts so far. Fly out to right field, or to center field. Next pitch is inside for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. So for the first time today, Costello is behind the man. Count is 2-1. Swung on right to Steve Squire, line shot, he makes the play, and the Warriors are gone 1-2-3. John Costello looking real good. That's it. We're going to go to the top of the second inning. Warriors, no score. You're listening to Warrior Baseball on KQAF. Not Lansing, but Lewiston, Idaho. Dean Barkey, shortstop, will lead it off for the Warriors here in the top of the second. No score. Good pitching by John Costello. Set the Cougars down in order. So here's the first pitch from Arvidsson to Dean Barkey, just on the outside quarter for a called strike. So the count moves to 0-1 on Dean Barkey. He's a senior. Dean is a senior from Detroit, Michigan, hitting .382 on the season. He has 58 hits, 32 RBIs, 1 home run, about 7 doubles. Here's a swing and a high fly ball. This is going to go roll off the fence. Dean Barkey on his way to second. Wheels. Here's a throw, not in time. And Dean Barkey is on with a double. So the first first Warrior hit of the game is by Dean Barkey. So the Warriors have a man on second, nobody out, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Dan Galvin. So Dean Barkey is on with a double off the right field fence. Didn't even see it. It's hard to see here. A little bit hazy. But anyways, Dean Barkey is on with the double to right field, right off the wall. That ball was hit about 360 feet away. So Arvidsson, the Stars, having his problems right now. Runner on second, nobody out. Catcher Dan Galvin up for the Warriors. Here's the first pitch, up and away. Ball 1. So Arvidsson, they talked about him so much, he doesn't look too good right now, but it's still early. We're in the top of the second inning, no score. Warriors threatening here, nobody out. Dean Barkey on second base. Dan Galvin, here's the 0-1 pitch, 1-0 pitch, outside. So the count moves to 2-0 on Dan Galvin. I believe it's 2-0, yes. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Warriors got a runner in scoring position for the first time this afternoon. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Dan Galvin, swung back. Nice cut, but fouled back, so the count moves to 2 balls and a strike on the big catcher. 2 balls, 1 strike on Dan Galvin. Dan doing the catching. He's taken over the catching job most this year. He's been hitting real well. Let's see, Dan Galvin, find his name. He's from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's .324 in the season. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Galvin. Swung on and missed. A high fastball. Alverson can certainly throw the heat. He throws in the 90s, in the low 90s, I hear. That's what the guy right below me has a radar gun I can look right at. He just threw that ball 91 miles an hour, so the count moves even at 2-2 on Dan Galvin with Mike Eckert of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin on deck. Dean Barkey waiting on second base for something to happen. Nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Dan Galvin. Here's the pitch to Galvin, up and away. Go out and see what the crowd is doing. Plenty of Warrior fans. You hear them clapping. They're right below me, right here at Harris Park in Lewiston, Idaho. Just across the river is Washington, the state, that is. So the count is full, 3-2. Everson pitching to Dan Galvin. Up and away. Dan Galvin's going to take a pass, and the Warriors have runners on first and second. Nobody out. And Oconomowoc native Mike Eckert, a junior, first baseman. And then we're going to have a pinch runner. Spitzak is going to be coming in for Dan Galvin. Pinch running. Spitzak, number 66, is going to come in. Yep, Jeff Spitzak will be coming in to pinch run for Dan Galvin. He draws the walk. The Warriors have runners on first and second base here. Nobody out. And Mike Eckert, as I said, coming to the plate. So Arvidsson, the guy who's 11-3 with a 1.80 ERA, is a little bit in trouble right now. Nobody out. Let's see if the Warriors can capitalize here. 1-0 pitch, nothing pitch, hits the outside corner, and the count moves to 0-1 on Mike Eckert. He's waiting for the sign from Coach Gary Grob down there on the left side, as I said. Chuck Squire, non-roster players down at first base coaching for the Warriors. Spitzak at first, Dean Barkey at second, nobody out. Eckert waiting for the 0-1 pitch. Nice bunt by Eckert. Everson's going to take it and only plays to first base, so Eckert gets a job done. So there's one out, runners on second, third. Great bunt. Sort of right back to the pitcher, but Mike Eckert does the job by moving the runners over. So there's a nice sacrifice for Mike Eckert. Dan Galvin, as I said, drew the walk. Spitzak came in a pitch run. Dean Barkey doubled to lead us off here. And now he's at third base with Spitzak at second because of the sacrifice bunt by Mike Eckert. So sack bunt for Eckert. Runners at second and third. One out here in the Warriors' top of the second inning. That'll bring up senior Rob Sloan, right fielder. Bats from the right side, waiting for the pitch from Arverson. Pitch swung on back, goes up against the screen. Yes, they do have a screen here. This ballpark is big enough to play minor league baseball in. They had a team here for 25 years, but they just couldn't afford it anymore because there's no major connections by airlines. A pretty big ballpark. They're expecting 4,000 plus fans here tonight for the hometown Lewis Clark game this evening. That'll be the final today. Here's the 1-0 pitch swung on a high fly ball to center field. This should score Dean Barkey. Center fielder Lane catches it. Dean Barkey's going to come in to score. Here's the throw to third. Spitzak, he's got to get under it, and he does. So Spitzak moves over to third base. Dean Barkey scores, and the Warriors lead 1-0. Warriors on top, and let's listen to the fans right now. Warriors on top, 1-0. Sacrifice fly by Rob Sloan. So a couple sacrifices. A sacrifice bunt by Eckert and a sacrifice fly by Rob Sloan. So the Warriors have already had one hit and one run so far this inning. 2 outs, Spitzak on third base. This guy is known to steal home. And that'll bring up big Steve Squire to the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, almost hit him. The count moves to 1-0. So already if Arverson lets up one more run, he'll be over his ERA. His ERA is 1.80. Spitzak sitting at third base. 1-0 count to big Steve Squire. Spitzak looks to go. No. Swung on, hit to the third baseman. Third baseman throws over to first. It's First baseman makes a nice stretch to make it. So anyways, the Warriors leave a runner stranded at third base, but they come up with one run, and after 1.5 innings, it's the Warriors 1, the Cougars of St. Xavier, nothing. Welcome back out to Harris Field, Keith Hamburg, along with myself. I keep saying that. Anyways, the Warriors lead 1-0 here as they got a run on a sacrifice fly by Rob Sloan as Dean Barkey started it off with a double to lead it off, moved over by Mike Eckert, and scored on the sacrifice fly, as I said, by Rob Sloan. So John Costello put him down in order, and to lead it off, Ken Boska to lead it off for St. Xavier. The first pitch, curveball, breaking ball, by John Costello, and perfect. Broke about a half a foot. Great pitch by John Costello. 0-1 count. Inside almost hits Boska, but the count moves even at 1-1. Even at 1-1, he set him down in order with one strikeout. Here's the pitch swung on to third base, going foul. Steve Squire over to cover, but it's going to be foul, so the count moves to 1-2. Costello has been ahead of him all day. The Warriors lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Plenty of time here. We play 9, so stay with us here in your Sports Connection in Winona, KQA. I hope you're enjoying it back in Winona. I sure am here in Lewiston, Idaho. Here's the 1-2 pitch swung on a high fly ball. Chris Shimmick going out. Kozak coming in and chasing Rob Sloan there, but Kozak, as usual, pulls it down for the first out. So a fly ball to center field, and Kozak pulls it down nicely. Fly out to 8. No hits so far. The weakness of the St. Xavier College team is their hitting. Their pitching job by John Costello. This will bring Bill McCollum to the plate. First pitch to him is just a little bit outside, just missed the corner. The count moves to 1-0. Pitch from Costello, swung on and missed. A great breaking ball. The count moves even at 1-1. John Costello from Lansing, Iowa, doing a great job for the Warriors so far. 1-1 count, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second inning for the Cougars of St. Xavier College. Swung on, breaking ball. Hit to Dean Barkey, scoops it up nicely, throws over to Mike Eckert, and gets the speedy McCollum out. 2 outs. So a nice place. Scoop by the shortstop Dean Barkey, and there's 2 gone here for the Warriors. Warriors have set them down in order here. So a ground out to shortstop Dean Barkey. Costello on the mound looking to set down his 6th in a row. Big number 14 steps up to the plate. Phil Ossett, he'll bat from the left side. The outfielders are basically straight away. There's a little bit of gap between Pete Goodfellow and Kozad, but now he moves over. First pitch by Costello is just missed the inside corner. The count moves to 1-0 on Allsat. Beautiful day, a little bit overcast, a little hazy. The mountains of Idaho. Yes, they're right behind me. 1-0 pitch, just same place, missed on the inside corner, so the count moves 2-0. First time all day that Costello has fallen behind a man by more than without 1 strike or more. 1-0, Warriors lead, bottom of the second, 2 outs. He set down 5 in a row, that's Costello. Costello's 1-2 pitch swung on down the third base side, no, just foul. Almost went over the bag, but went just left of the third base bag, and the count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Warrior baseball. Hope you're all enjoying it. It certainly is a beautiful out here in Iowa. And yes, Idaho. I guess they do grow potatoes out here. That's what they tell me anyways. Crowd getting bigger. I expect about 1,500 here now. They're expecting 4,500 people for the Lewis College Clark game tonight. They are 4-time defending World Series champions. 1-0 is our score. Bottom of the second inning. 2-1 pitch from Costello. Just missed inside, so the count moves to 3-1. Now John really behind Phil Allsat. Allsat is the, let's see, what is Allsat? He's the first baseman. First baseman Allsat. 3-1 pitch swung on, and that's going to be a base hit right into center field. Kozad grabs it and throws it into Chris Shimmick, so they have their first run on board with Phil Assat, and there's still 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. He's on first base with a single. And that'll bring up Sean Lowe. I don't know if it's any relationship to Rob. We'll have to see. Number 24, I don't know if he has blonde hair. I don't think so. 2 outs here. Runner on first for the Cougars. Warriors lead 1-0. John Costello had set 5 in a row down until the base hit right there by Phil Allsat. Sean Lowe coming to the plate for the Cougars. First pitch outside. Sean Lowe hitting 325 on the year, 14 doubles, 58 hits, 1 homer, 33 RBIs. He's a junior from Knoxville, Tennessee for the Cougars. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him, high again. He's a short guy, so Costello's going to have to come down. The count moves 2-0 on Sean Lowe. So Costello having a little bit of problems after sailing through the first inning and sailing through the first 2 outs. They have a runner on first, 2 outs. Sean Lowe at the plate, waiting for the 2-0 pitch from John Costello. Here's the pitch, swung on, hit, oh, right through Dean Barkey's leg. That's going to be an error. Pete Goodfellow comes up with it. So the first mental mistake by the Warriors. Dean Barkey pulled his glove up a little bit too fast, and if you're keeping score back at home, that's an E6. E6, Dean Barkey just pulled up. So there's runners at first and second. First time that the Cougars have had runners in scoring position. So that'll bring up the left fielder, Joe Mulak. Mulak, the left fielder. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. Curveball swung on to Chris Shimmick. Chris makes a nice play at second base. Steps on second place, so the threat is gone. Costello gets out of it as Joe Mulak bounces out to Chris Shimmick over at second base. So grounder to second base, and the Cougars are gone. The Warriors lead 1-0. We're through 2 complete innings. You're listening to Warrior Baseball. Get a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the second inning, but John Costello got out of it as Joe Mulak bounced out to Chris Shimmick. Down at second base, he stepped on second base, and that was it. So we're going to go into the top of the third inning. The Warriors lead 1-0. That's what it looks like. All the balls, a couple of fly balls they've hit have been good. So Chris Shimmick coming to the plate right now. Bruce, I'll report to you a little bit later. First pitch from Arvidsson to Prior Lake, Minnesota native Chris Shimmick is a ball outside 1-0. Chris made a real nice play in the bottom of the second inning. A hard shot to second base, stepped on second base for the Warriors to get out of it. They lead 1-0. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Shimmick. Changeup by Arvidsson, swung on and missed by Shimmick. Count moves even at 1-1. Chris Shimmick, Kozad. Scott Kozad will be on deck, so the count moves even at 1-1 on the Prior Lake, Minnesota Chris Shimmick. Warriors lead 1-0 here at Harris Field. Nice breaking ball by Arvidsson. In there for a strike. Chris Shimmick knew it. He steps out of the box. Count moves to 1-2 on Shim. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chris Shimmick. Prior Lake, Minnesota senior on this team, missing graduation. I asked him if he cared. He said, no way. This is a dream come true. Chris Shimmick hacks away at this one, hanging tough. Count stays even at 1-1. That one went back to the screen, foul. Chris Shimmick said, heck no, I'd rather be here at the College World Series. This is very, never forget something like this. Chris's parents are down here. Mr. and Mrs. Shimmick flew in with them this morning. Very nice people. It's nice to see all the support we're getting from the Warrior parents. Next pitch is outside, so the count moves even at 2-2 for the second baseman, Chris Shimmick. Scott Alverson, the star pitcher for the Cougar Ball Club, 11-3, 1.80 ERA, is on the mound for them right now. 2-2 pitch to Chris Shimmick, swung on and missed, so Chris is gone, and Alverson has his second K. He struck out Scott Wanchura, so there's 1 out. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter who was caught stealing, Scott Kozad, and you don't see that too often. Kozad does not get caught stealing much. He was caught stealing 3 times in like 24 attempts this year for the Warriors. He is the all-time Warrior stolen base leader. Scott Kozad. Here's a 0-0 pitch from Alverson, a little bit low. Kozad being patient up there. The count moves to a ball and 1 strike. Scotty Kozad, another senior in this ball club, asked him if he minded. Same answer as Chris Shimmick. No way. He loves it here. They've been here since Wednesday. Next pitch, fastball swung on and missed by Kozad, so the count moves even at 1-1. Clouds starting to come in over the mountain range, and believe me, they're mountains. You think the bluffs are big in Winona? They're mountains here. So the sun's starting to go away. I can pull up my little shade here in the beautiful press box at Harris Field in Lewiston, Idaho, right across from the state of Washington. You can see Seattle from here. No, just kidding. Seattle's 300 miles away. Kozad steps out of the box. He calls timeout. The count is still 1-1, 1 out. Nobody on. Scooter Pete Goodfellow on deck for the Warriors. Warriors looking real good so far. Next pitch to Kozad is a strike on the outside corner. So the count moves to 2 balls and a strike. Scott Kozad, speedy center fielder from La Crescent, Minnesota. Here's the 1-2 pitch inside. Count moves even at 2-2 on Kozad, so he's hanging tough here. Clouds starting to move in. Let's hope the rain stays away. A great crowd. They're starting to file in, probably for that Lewis College Clark game. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Kozad, swinging at a high fastball, and racked that one up for Alverson. That's his 3rd strikeout, and there's 2 outs. So 2 Ks in a row by Arvidsson, and he's starting to get his stuff, it looks like right here, as he's set 2 Warriors down in a row. Make that 3 Warriors down in a row. He's Rob Sloan had a sacrifice fly. Squire grounded out. A K by Shimmick and a K by Kozad. Here's Pete Goodfellow with 2 out. Lines one over to the Warriors dugout on the left side, going foul. So Pete Goodfellow's behind the count. 0-1. Pete Scooter Goodfellow, another senior on this team, and believe me, again, he doesn't mind. 2 outs here. 0-1 count. Arvidsson ready to pitch to Goodfellow. Next pitch, just nips the outside corner. Looked a little bit wide from here, but the ump calls it a strike anyway, and Goodfellow's really behind now. 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on for the Warriors. They lead 1-0. Here's the next pitch. Just missed on the outside corner again, so the count moves to 1-2. I'm giving Scooter Pete Goodfellow a break. The count moves to 1-2. 2 outs here. We are in the inning. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. Warriors lead 1-0. Goodfellow's pitch swung on to the third baseman, bobbles it. Goodfellow's going to be on for the 2nd time in a row. This time an error again by the third baseman. So that's 2 errors for Pete Goodfellow, and he's aboard on first base with 2 outs. And boy, it's nice to have him aboard when a guy like Scott Lumpy Wanchura is coming up next, and that exactly who's coming up. And believe me, there's a shallow line. It's only 330 down the right field line, where it's 340 down the left field line. The gaps aren't that big. It's 350 to the gap in right center field, and that's where Wanchura likes to take it. And his 18 home runs proves that this guy can take you downtown. He loves the fastball, he tells me. Scott Wanchura is the happiest I've ever seen him. The time of his life, the junior from Bloomington, Minnesota, steps up. Iverson throws back to hold Goodfellow. He's back in time. 2 outs. Clouds starting to come in here in Lewiston, Idaho. Winona State fans out there. Can't quite hear him. A little quiet right now. Here's a 0-0 pitch to Juan Shura. A little bit low. Almost gets away from the catcher, but he handles it pretty well. Catcher for the Cougars is Dave Thies. And of course on the mound is Arvidsson for the Cougars. So 1 ball, no strikes. Pete Goodfellow fell for oh, this one's way back. Scott Juan Shura, this ball is off the wall. Here comes, no, it's gone. This ball is gone. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Scott Lumpy Juan Shura, and listen to the fans. Listen to the fans. Lumpy Juan Shura went off the top of the wall, and Lumpy Juan Shura has his 19th home run of the year, a 2-run shot off the exactly where I said, 350 feet away from home plate. The Warriors lead 3-0. The fans going crazy. Let's let you get a listen in. Those are 22 Winona State fans. Lumpy Juan Shura, his 19th home run of the year. They're all waving at me up here. Boy, was that a jack. A line shot. It didn't take much time to get out of the ballpark. His 83rd RBI of the year, and the Warriors lead 3-0. So I said Arvidsson was getting things settled, but not when Scott Juan Shura comes up to the plate. Warriors lead 3-0 on a 2-run shot by Scott Juan Shura. So the error by the third baseman to let Goodfellow on really hurts when you pitch to a guy like Juan Shura. Dean Barkey comes up. First pitch to him, it caught the outside corner. Next pitch is high and away, so the count moves even at 1-run. A 2-run shot by Lumpy Juan Shura. Boy, oh boy, how quickly it happens. That ball got out of here in a hurry. You can tell it's a hitter's ballpark. Dean Barkey pops this one up to the first baseman. He calls it, so he's going to fly out to the first baseman, and that will do it for the Warriors. But Lumpy Juan Shura, they come up with 1 hit on 2 runs. On the home run, his 19th of the year by Scott Juan Shura, the Warriors lead 3-0. Nuts, as you can still hear him clapping. Yes, that's a clapping from the Winona State parents. And boy, what a shot by Scott Juan Shura. As Bruce just said back in the studio, at first I just thought it was going into the gaps. It's hard to see with the haze, and I saw the umpire twirl his hands, and that was it. So Warriors lead 3-0. We go into the bottom of the 3rd inning. John Costello pitching to number 4, Dave Thies. Thies is the catcher for the Cougars of St. Xavier College of Illinois. Here's the 1-0 pitch, 0-1 pitch. Count moves even at 1-1 on Thies. So the Warriors come up with 2 runs, trying to catch my breath on that Scott Juan Shura home run. What a shot. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Thies. A little bit high. Count moves to 2-1. So the Warriors doing exactly what they've done all year, and that is hit the ball. Boy, that error by the third baseman, Bill McClown, on 2 errors he's already made today on Pete Goodfellow. Boy, did that really hurt them, as Juan Shura took Arvidsson downtown. Here's the bunt by Thies. Costello throws, just gets him in time. Nice bunt to the left side. Costello got out of the mound quick, and there's 1 gone. So count that a grounder right out to the pitcher. Grounder back to Costello, so there's 1 gone here, and that'll bring off the leadoff hitter, Nolan Lane. He plays center fielder. He's the center fielder for St. Xavier College. First pitch breaking ball, he was 1.5 miles ahead of that one for strike 1. St. Xavier College of Illinois, the Cougars, they split a series earlier in the season with the Warriors. 3-2 Warriors won, and then 2-0. Next pitch, as you can hear by the reaction of the Winona State fans, is a strike, so the count moves to no balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on for the Cougars. John Costello really looking good. It helps when Scott Juan Shura hits a 2-run shot. Next pitch, up and away, count moves to 1-2. So really, only 1 hit so far for Costello. Next pitch, breaking ball, ahead of it again, and Costello has his 2nd K of the day, and Nolan Lane is gone. Costello, 3 breaking balls he got him on. 3 breaking balls by Costello. Boy, the Warriors only have 2 hits, but 3 runs, and that's all that counts right now. That'll bring up the second baseman, Tim Rossberger. He hits one high and foul on the left side. So Costello, as usual, is ahead of him 0-1. Warriors lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Harris Field in Lewiston, Idaho. Hope you're enjoying it back in Winona. I hope all you people in the business office are listening. Next pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Costello is on fire. Rossboro was way behind there. Hope all you back Winona State teachers, faculty, students, everybody listening to the Warriors here in the College World Series. Next pitch swung on. That's going to be a base hit over Dean Barkey's head. Pete Goodfellow comes up with it, throws into Barkey. So they have their second hit of the day. Rossboro has a base hit to left field. So they have one runner on, one out. Excuse me, 2 outs. Second K. 2 Ks so far for John Costello from Lansing, Iowa. And Roy Kolecki is his name. I said Kowalski. It's Kolecki. Roy Kolecki, the shortstop up. 2 outs, runners on first. They're going to steal right away. Here's the, no, fake steal. He turned and was thinking about going. Rossboro did, and he came back. Dan Galvin was ready to peg him, and I think he would have. Dan Galvin's got a good arm, good defensive catcher in Dan Galvin. Oh, next pitch. Whoa, Costello almost throws him out, but Rossboro's back in time, so the count is still 1 ball, no strikes on Roy Kowalski. Got to pronounce that name right. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 pitch, a little bit high. Count moves to 2-0. 2-0, Costello trying to get out of this one right here. Runner on first, 2 outs. Roy Kolecki up for the Cougars. Warriors lead 3-0, bottom of the 3rd inning. John Costello on the mound for the Warriors. Here's a 2-0 pitch inside, so the count moves to 3-0. First time all day that Costello's been behind 3 balls, no strikes. Clouds really starting to come in now. Sun still shining. A little hard to see the ball if you're out in left field, like Pete Goodfellow is right now. Here's Costello's 3-0 pitch. Let's see if he's got the green light. No, he doesn't, and this one's high and away, and he walks him on 4 straight pitches. So a walk, and there's now runners on first and second base for the Cougars. So Costello, for the 2nd time in a row, has had a runner on first and second base, but there is 2 outs. Let's see if he can get out of it. Chris Shimmick and Dan Galvin having a word with him. Obviously, no one warming up yet as the Warriors lead 3-0, but that's not the cushion that they need. They need a little bit more than that. Their offense can do better than that. They averaged almost 8 runs a game during the season, their, I believe, 42-game season. Of course, Scott Wanshura helps when most of those games he batted an even 500. Here's the 0-0 pitch to Ken Buxka. Just misses. So 5 balls in a row by Costello, and he's having a little bit of a problem right now. As I said, Ken Buxka up, and he is the right fielder. Buxka waiting for the 1-0 pitch from Costello. Runners on first and second. Throw back, they got him. Oh, I can't believe it. The ump called him safe, but Rossboro was caught off second base. A great throw by Costello. No, they didn't get him. The runner just must have slid under the tag. It's hard to see way back in the booth from here, but Chris Shimmick thought he had him. Good attempt by Costello and Shimmick. So 1 ball, no strikes still on the batter, Buxka. Buxka waiting for the pitch. Swung on past Dean Barkey, and this is going to score a run. Wait, here comes the throw by Scooter Pete.